Thanks for inviting us in. It's now 11 o'clock. Tonight, a toddler in Greenfield is recovering from hypothermia after being found wandering outside in the cold wearing only a diaper. The child's father tonight is charged with 2 counts of neglect. Our Logan Gay shares what the woman who found that toddler has to say.
It was another freezing day when Mary Mayfield says she ran outside to unlock her sister's car. That's when she heard something that stopped her in her tracks.
I heard the baby crying. I wasn't quite sure where the baby was crying at. So I stepped out a little bit more.
Moments later, she saw the toddler alone in the cold.
I saw him. No pants, no shoes, just a diaper.
She immediately asked a neighbor to call 911. Greenfield police rushed to the scene and, according to court documents, found the toddler suffering from hypothermia.
To see the baby dressed like that, and what parents would do that?
Court documents say officers followed the toddler's footprints through the snow, leading them to an apartment with the front door wide open. After getting no response, police went inside and found a 20-year-old man asleep on the couch. Officers also say they found what they believe to be illegal drugs and drug paraphernalia. Police arrested the man and took him to the Hancock County Jail.
That baby should have never without no clothes. That's my biggest concern. For him to be out here in the cold, in the ice.
The toddler was taken to the hospital and police say is stable. Hancock County Prosecutor Brent Eaton says his office has charged the man with 2 counts of neglect of a dependent. His bond is set at $30,000 cash. Eaton says quick action and teamwork made all the difference.
Any crime involving a child is a very high priority for our office, and we put a lot of resources in our partnership with Zoe's Place Child Advocacy Center and our partnership with law enforcement to ensure that we do everything we can for children in Hancock County to be safe.
As the investigation continues, Mayfield says she can't stop thinking about the toddler and hopes she'll see him again.
All I want is to see that baby one more time and hold him. That's the only way I can stop shaking in the inside.
In Greenfield, Logan Gay, 13 News.
The Hancock County prosecutor says the father's pretrial conference is now scheduled for February 6th with a jury trial set for June. Temperatures out there right now, Angela, not too bad for this time of night.
No, so far so good, Scott, and this is good news as we look ahead to that slight chance of a little bit of freezing drizzle. We're still in the upper 30s to around 40, 37 Indianapolis, 34 Richmond, 40 in Muncie. As long as these temperatures stay above freezing, we're going to be A-OK for that Wednesday morning drive. Early morning numbers will be close. We're forecasting low to mid 30s. Future Track 13 shows that slight chance of a little bit of freezing drizzle or freezing fog. We'll continue the timeline and look ahead to what could be a stormy Thursday in your forecast.
All right, we'll see you in a little bit, Angela. Thanks. Tonight at 11, we're learning that Marion County Sheriff Carrie Forrestall is going to run for an Indiana Senate seat in 2026. That's according to our partners at the Capitol Chronicle. Forrestall is term limited, so that means he cannot run for sheriff again next year. Instead, he'll be running for the seat in District 31. That covers the northeast corner of Indianapolis plus the Fishers area in Hamilton County. Republican Senator Kyle Walker currently represents that area, but announced earlier this month he will not be seeking a second term. He was one of the Republicans opposed to redistricting. Tonight, for the first time, we are hearing from Indiana Governor Mike Braun about that failed redistricting plan. The governor told us today he believes the biggest opposition was from across the aisle, but he'd still support primary challenges to lawmakers who voted against redistricting, which includes Republicans. So we want you to hear from the governor tonight about what he said about whether this issue could resurface here in Indiana.
I don't think that can be resurrected in this session, but I think it plays out in a broader way. But again, if you try to generalize on it, I think it's a mistake because it's a national issue that put us out of sync with all other states, the administration, a large majority of Republicans and conservatives in this state. I think you let it rest there, and then you focus on the things we have under our control.
The governor went on to say his priorities for 2026 include affordability, education, and health care. You can hear the governor's responses to those topics right now. They're streaming over on WTHR.com. Our Dustin Grove and Emily Longnecker have been covering this redistricting debate in depth every week on Crossroads Politics. You can stream those episodes anytime. All of that's posted for you on WTHR+. Tonight at 11, pastors and church members have a message for Governor Braun. They want him to get rid of the death penalty here in Indiana. Today, a group called Indianapolis First Friends and Shalom Zone delivered more than 70 handwritten letters to the governor's office, all pushing to abolish the death penalty. All of this comes as 5 men remain on Indiana's death row. The state executed 3 men in the last year, all with an injection of pentobarbital. The costly drug is difficult to obtain. It has a shelf life of 90 days. Those concerns have led some people to support bringing back firing squads. But this group says the method isn't the problem.
God hates the sin but loves the sinner. And that's where we are. We believe in forgiveness. And so religiously, our doctrine tells us, and this is multiple churches embraced within Shalom Zone, that we should not be in the business of killing human beings.
Governor Braun's deputy chief of staff met with the group briefly and promised a more formal conversation before the end of the year. The man charged with a double murder on Thanksgiving made his first court appearance today. The victims included the suspect's dad and his father's girlfriend. Ashton Hackman was in court today and tells us what's next in this heartbreaking case.
This is 18-year-old Jaron Morgan being wheeled into court for his initial hearing Tuesday morning. Handcuffed to a wheelchair, he listened to the charges he faces: murder, armed robbery, and felony arson. The shooting happened just after 10 Thanksgiving morning inside this home on Audubon Road. Firefighters were called to put out a fire and found Courtney C.J. Morgan and his girlfriend, Megan Weakerson. Both were shot. C.J. died inside the home. Megan died at the hospital. Police say Jaron shot the couple in front of their 2 young children. Court documents reveal police later spotted Jaron Morgan driving Weakerson's Dodge Charger speeding on 65. The police chase ended in a crash and Morgan was hospitalized. He now has until January 6th to figure out who will represent him in court. As with all murder cases in Indiana, Jaron Morgan will be held here in custody at the Marion County Jail until his case reaches a conclusion. In the meantime, his jury trial is set for February 23rd. In Indianapolis, Ashton Hackman, 13 News.
Some call drones America's newest cop. Others worry about privacy. But as more police agencies are turning to drones, Alex Almanza shows us tonight how the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office is expanding their use and now looking to AI for what comes next.
In the basement of the Hamilton County Sheriff's Office, Officer Craig Dennison is monitoring a 911 call while flying a drone more than a mile away.
I just hit the button. The drone goes up.
With a few keystrokes, he sends it straight to the address or takes manual control if needed.
Medic 375, chest pain at Penn Station.
So there's a possible heart attack at Penn Station.
As dispatch takes another call, the drone is already en route, arriving nearly 4 minutes before first responders. From the air, Dennison can relay real-time details to help crews know what they're walking into. Drones have been in use by Hamilton County for more than a year, but now with artificial intelligence capabilities coming soon, this technology has the potential to be more powerful than we think, but it raises one question. What about privacy?
And they record the entire flight. They're not looking down at any private citizen or private entity or private location until they get on top of that actual call.
Brian Neese is the director of the county's Real-Time Information Center. He says his team's biggest concern is safety, adding mass surveillance isn't the goal.
Our intent is simply to be a public safety asset and respond to crimes in progress.
Neese says the drone program is expanding in 2026 with Hamilton County serving as a beta test. He says the new drones can fly at more than 100 miles an hour, can respond anywhere in the county, and will have AI capabilities.
Those drones can simply be flown in a grid pattern and looking for a missing 3-year-old wearing a red shirt and blue jeans. That technology is there inside our fingertips, and we're really looking forward to how it keeps the public safe.
Something he says he would have never thought could be possible just 5 years ago. In Hamilton County, Alex Almanza, 13 News.
Flock is the name of the company behind those drones. They tell us that police solely own that data, that flight logs are public, and drone cameras stay forward-facing until they reach the call. So if you use Waze as you're driving, you may see a new kind of notification in Carmel. The police department tells us they're partnering with the Directions app to alert drivers to officers headed to an emergency, in a police pursuit, or on a traffic stop. The safety tech comes because people are not moving over. Several crashes involved state police. In fact, one trooper has been hit 3 times during his 4-year career.
Putting a lot of faith in those thousands of drivers that are passing us, that they're paying attention and doing the right thing, because it just takes one time, one person not paying attention, that has life-changing consequences.
Police in Carmel have been telling us this technology costs about $23,000. It was paid for by the department's seizure fund.